It's almost here. Finally, it's almost here for the middleweight championship. Two of the best pound for pound fighters in the world, Canelo Alvarez, Gennady Golovkin, and the fight that we've been waiting for about 2, 3 years now is finally upon us, and it's going to be a hell of a fight. Great matchup on paper, and I hope it lives up to the billing. This is as good as it gets, and it's one of those pay-per-view fights that can be uh, great for the boxing fans and casual fans alike. It's one that's going to have some blood. It's going to have two guys with bad intentions who want to end the fight, who want to end their opponent, and it's all good. But tonight, real quick, I wanted to touch. I never did a full fight review, and I never talked about the betting odds. I love betting on college football, but I also dabble a little bit in some boxing betting. I don't know if I'm going to bet on this fight. I kind of just want to sit back and enjoy it tomorrow night from the comfort of my couch and not worry about all that. So I probably won't bet on it. But there's value in this fight, betting wise, if you really believe in your heart that Canelo and in your head that Canelo is going to win this fight. There's a lot of value as far as betting wise in this fight. Before I get into that, I want to touch on a couple things. You know what? Let's get to the odds first. Canelo by decision. There's a lot of value in that, in my opinion, because if Canelo can somehow go 12 rounds with Triple G, Canelo's a guy who's gotten a lot of favoritism from the Las Vegas judges. A lot. And all I got to do is point to Canelo versus Mayweather. He gets the benefit of the doubt from the judges. He just does, Canelo. And that wasn't even benefit of the doubt. That was just giving this guy rounds he didn't deserve. I think that was a little bit of corruption. But in other fights, he's gotten the benefit of a doubt in pretty much all the close rounds. So there's a lot of value in Canelo by decision if he can go the 12, if he can get the 12, because Canelo by split decision is plus 1,000. What that means is you put 100 down and Canelo wins by split decision, you win $1,000. Canelo by unanimous decision plus 250. So $100 bet gives you 250. Gennady Golovkin by unanimous decision is plus 450. So not much value there. The over-under in this is 10.5 rounds. Most of the money coming in right now is for a late round stoppage. But if you think Canelo can go the rounds, to me, the two plays real quick that has the most value is if the fight is stopped between round 7 and 12, that's plus 265. So there's a good chance this has a late round stoppage written all over it. So if you bet 100 on the fight being stopped between 7 and 12, you win $265. Also, there's value in Canelo by decision. Canelo by decision is plus 210. So like I said, if this goes to the cards, even if Triple G on our scorecards wins 8 or 9 rounds, there's still a good chance that Canelo gets favoritism by the judges and could still possibly get the decision. So Canelo by KO is plus 753. So if you think Canelo is going to get a late round stoppage in this, there's value in that for you as well. I don't see that, but and I'll talk about that in a minute. But now that the odds are out of the way, I told you where the value is. A couple of things that I want to hit on: stamina, body punching, and the weight. The stamina in this can come into play because, and first of all, I think the common denominator in this is going to be whoever is first, whoever is offensive minded and is first and throwing the punches first is better off. If you look at Kell Brook, Danny Jacobs, where they had success is when they were offensive minded against Triple G. Easier said than done. Easier said than done, because if you stay in there too long and throw combination punches, you're going to have some fire coming back at you. And not only that, if you watch the Danny Jacobs fight, and what we learned from the Danny Jacobs fight, if you're unbiased and you're looking at it from an unbiased point of view, not subjective, what you learn from Triple G is he can go 12, and he can go 12 against a big physical middleweight who outweighed him, who can box and can punch and can take a punch. So he proved that he can go 12. He proved he had good stamina. He fought consistently, a consistent pace through 12 rounds. So he proved they can go 12. I think that's big. I think that's big. And if you look at rounds 11 and 12 in that fight, when the fight was up on the table, Danny Jacobs wear down And by the way, I see a lot of viewers. So if you're in the chat, I still haven't figured out how to access the chat. So my apologies for that. I'll try to figure that out in the near future. But if you look at uh, 11 and 12 of that fight, Jacobs wore down. He had no legs, throwing a lot of arm punches, and still showed a lot of heart. I thought Danny Jacobs fought a hell of a fight and proved that he's definitely the second best middleweight in the world, right there with Golovkin, but the second best middleweight in the world. Just a hell of a fight he fought. But he wore down because he expended so much energy against Golovkin in those first 10 rounds, just trying to stay up and take those punches. But not only that, was throwing a lot of punches because that's when you have success against Golovkin. Canelo's going to have to fight that fight as well. But Canelo in the past has shown stamina issues. Hasn't come up recently due to the competition he's fought, but he's shown some stamina issues late in the fight. And Golovkin hasn't shown that stamina issue. And to me, if the Jacobs fight hadn't gone 12, I might have had those same questions about Golovkin. What if Canelo can get him in the later rounds? We haven't seen Golovkin late in fights, but I think he emphatically answered that against Danny Jacobs. So if this fight goes to the later rounds, I worry for Canelo. I worry because he's going to have some bombs coming down on him. He's never faced a puncher like Triple G. He's never fought at the full 160 limit. The only legit middleweight he fought was Chavez Jr., blown up Chavez Jr., who, quite frankly, isn't that good. But he's fighting a different animal tomorrow night. So I worry for him if he gets in the late rounds on the stamina. He's carrying around a lot more weight. He looks big. He looks big, a lot of muscle, especially in his shoulders. I worry about that and him wearing down late in the fight if you're a Canelo fan. So I favor Triple G late in the fight on stamina. The body punching will come into play as well because in order to slow Triple G down, Canelo's got to hit him with some body punches, particularly early in the fight. Wear him down. Make him a little weary of coming in. That's how you slow down aggressors. And Golovkin, not a guy who cuts off the ring, so Canelo will be able to move and circle. However, he stalks and he stalks and he stalks and he stalks. So you'll be able to catch him with shots coming in. But another thing you worry about for Alvarez is if he circles too much and hangs around in the ropes, this could turn into Cotto versus Margarito all over again, where Canelo's throwing a lot of punches off of his back foot, doesn't have as much weight on it. Not throwing punches off his front foot, not coming forward, not standing his ground. And you saw Cotto in the second Margarito fight adjust to that and hold his ground. Canelo's going to have to do that in his fight. Hold his ground, clinch when he has to, not give up room, and try to smother Golovkin a little bit because Golovkin's not a great inside fighter. No, he's great at range, but not great if you smother him, kind of like Ward smothered Kovalev. You can smother his punches a bit. However, Golovkin's going to have to slow him down with body punches, not move back that much, and be offensive minded as well. I think for Canelo, you got to mix in with that offense with the counter punching. Easier said than done. Easier said than done. He's facing a big puncher here, obviously. So the body punching has to come in play, but Golovkin has the body punching as well. So that's why I put that there, as both guys are good body punchers. So I think that's going to be a key here. Whoever's the better body puncher early in the fight, that's going to tell you how this fight plays out late in the fight. So if Canelo beats him to the body punching, is landing that left hook to the liver and beating with that, then that bodes better for him late in the fight. However, when you go to the body, you're leaving upstairs open, and Triple G can counter as well upstairs. So another thing is the weight. Like I said, it could come into play later on for Canelo holding more muscle. However, it could be a good thing for him as well. It could be an advantage in that he didn't have to cut as much weight late in training camp. Canelo's had problems with weight throughout his career, but at the full 160, he looked comfortable at the weigh-in. He looked comfortable. He looked fine. He looked comfortable in the workouts throughout the week. So he looks good physically. I worry about the muscle that it could wear down, but Also, there's the other side of that, that he didn't have to cut weight. He won't be weak. He'll fully rehydrate, and that could be an advantage for him as well. So, are people overreacting to Canelo recently? How he's looked with easier opposition? Are people overreacting to Triple G not winning by knockout in his last fight against a very good middleweight, very, very good middleweight, Danny Jacobs, a bigger guy? Maybe so. I think they are overreacting a little bit, maybe overvaluing Canelo, maybe undervaluing Triple G. However, when people tell me this is a toss-up fight, I kind of see that too. I've talked to as many boxing people. Um, as many people are picking Canelo as they're picking Golovkin. So a lot of people see that in Canelo. Canelo does tend to rise to the occasion. I've been high on Canelo on this channel. And I actually think it'll be better for boxing if Canelo wins this fight because he is the face of boxing right now. However, he's got Triple G's a beast, man. So it's gonna be a tough fight for him. But it could go either way. Could go either way. I'm still struggling with this one, as you can see. I think it is somewhat of a toss-up fight. However, I do give the slight edge to Golovkin. I just do. But hit me up. Let me know what y'all think about this fight. This was the full review. Just try to touch on betting odds and advantages and disadvantages of both fighters. I really do worry about the one thing that worries me about picking Canelo is the stamina late in the fight. I just worry with the big physical middleweight, not a big physical middle because Canelo is going to be the bigger guy, but with the physical middleweight who can punch, that Canelo could wear down late in the fight. Just trying to keep him off of him and dealing with the stalking and going to have to fight with a higher output. So I just worry about that. But hit me up. Let me know what y'all think about this fight. It is finally here, and I'm through the roof about it. Peace.